All right, welcome to our summer series. And again, I'm so excited because we're going to have Leslie back. She had a brilliant idea to build a chandelier for the barn. And so here we are. Leslie,
Hi,
how are you?
good. How are
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This, before we go into this, what started this was we thought, well, and let me back up. I have seen some of Leslie's design work, which is absolutely incredible, whether it's wreaths or you take grapevine and you make unbelievable things. But one of the things that she said she could do was we were going to do a chandelier over the hot tub because we have a pergola.
Yeah.
Well, it got a little complicated when we were thinking it through. And while we were having this discussion, Leslie looks across my yard and sees what we thought was a dead Japanese maple.
Yep.
And she said, let's pivot here. Let's cut down this Japanese maple and let's make a chandelier over the hot tub that way.
Yeah.
Well, after cutting down this fabulous Japanese maple, we realized it wasn't a Japanese maple. It was a
willow. It's a pussy willow.
It's a pussy willow bush. Yeah. And it was fantastic because Bob helped cut that down last night. And tell us what we're going to do with this machine, this beast.
So what we're doing, we realized...
And it is too big for the hot tub area.
It was too big for the hot tub area, but it's so spectacular and so dramatic that we wanted to put it in the barn.
Yes.
So we had this great spot over the stairs that we were like, let's do it there. So it has a fabulous structure, but what we need to do before we get into the nitty-gritty is give it a haircut.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're basically going to go through, and these are the main arteries of the willow, and we're just going to cut out all of like the vein structures, if you will.
The little ones.
The little one. And we want to cut it at an angle like this, so you won't be able to see the knots. Okay. And then willow is one of my favorite things to work with, whether I am weaving giant mushrooms for people's yard as sculptures, or, all kinds of different animals out of willow. Okay. The thing is, I'm actually going to save all of these cutoffs, and we're going to make willow cloches for your garden as well.
What's a willow cloche?
So a willow cloche is going to be a structure that goes over something that the deer might like, the rabbits might like.
So it'll save it.
So it'll save it, exactly. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to just keep cutting these little bits off.
And to give you kind of a little bit of a forecast, she is going to show me how we're going to string lights all through this. It's going to be, have you ever seen out west or somewhere where they've taken, elk antlers or deer antlers and they've created a fabulous chandelier? It looks very natural. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get down to the arteries or the thicker branches and do lights on them. Then you'll see Bob is going to climb a very tall ladder, and we are going to hang this above the stairway.
Yeah, it's going to just look very epic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like epic. Now, we did get a little bit worried if there were bugs that had, because it was dead, if there were bugs that had found their way into the wood.
So you want to search for any bore spots, which are going to be little holes. And then you use something called diatomaceous earth, which is a completely organic product. It's derived from diatoms, and it's a little powder that you can paint in the holes. Now, the only thing is you don't want to breathe it in. So you want to make sure that you're wearing a mask to protect your lungs, but it's something you can actually eat, and it will get rid of any bugs in your system as well.
Where do you find that?
And you can find it online. You can find it, and most garden centers will have it.
She was explaining it because a lot of people, not a lot of people, but many people I've seen take, let's say a tree falls over and they make a coffee table out of it or an end table, but it won't last long if there's bugs. And so that's what this does, is take care of all of that.
I really just like to find the beauty in everything in nature, whether it's dead or alive. Gardening's kind of one of the best things that you can see, the beauty of Mother Earth and Father Time kind of joining together to create something, and then we get to highlight that bit of nature here.
All right, so what we did, or what Bob did, and Michael, is put in 2 eye hooks, and we are raising it up to the rafter But before that, we are shaping it the way we want
Yes,
to shape it.
absolutely. So what we're going to do is it's going to be facing this way. And then we're going to go through and I'm going to gently prune. So I don't want it to look like a hard cut. I don't want it to look like a chainsaw went through. So the way I'm going to get that is by gently cutting each branch at a slightly different height. But we're going to take it in quite a bit. I'm going to cut about a foot and a half off of each side. So it's a little bit smaller. And then we're going to get to lighting this.
We are going to light the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they're going to move it all the way over so it's over the stairwell. So here we go.
Yeah. And it'll be remote controlled. So we'll just set it and forget it.
Wait. You're going to do one other thing. So there is a chain that's going to be going all the way up with the power cords.
Yep.
And Leslie had an amazing idea.
We're going to cover it with moss. So moss is my go-to best friend for covering anything that you don't want to see that's unsightly when you're working with natural materials. Nothing is a better Band-Aid than moss.
So we're going to moss the whole chain all the way up.
We're going to moss the chain.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, let me tell you where we are at our process right now because we've been interrupted a couple times. We had a massive storm roll through, lost all power, but we are back. We've actually had to pivot a couple of times on the chandelier because initially we were wrapping every single branch and we undid that to make it more, would you say chandelier-like, just more grace and flow instead of. And there are
and there's not
lot
enough lights in this country
to cover every single. So everything is wired now. And why don't you explain what you're doing right now?
So what I'm doing is I'm actually going through and we're just adding little additions of moss down the bottom of the tree.
And where do you get this moss?
So this moss I actually get from a company called Super Moss.
Okay, but
So
for
there's
the layperson,
So Super Moss or Moss for You, you can order from their website and they're amazing. Moss for You is lovely. Small company and all they do is moss.
Okay.
Nope,
And it's great because you can put,
didn't do the trick.
take them, it's okay, take the moss and you can put the moss in your planters. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can use it for.
You can also harvest it from your yard. I have trash picked it from the side of the road. Somebody was throwing out a bunch of moss. I pulled over my car and just literally filled up trash bags and trash bags of moss. And then I transplanted it into my garden in the winter and it was lovely. Still there, still alive.
So what we're doing here, you're giving it a real sense and feel that it's almost a tree hanging down.
Exactly. I just wanted it to have a little more of an organic element. I'm also covering any area where Bob and I went through and cut. So right here, you can see that. Now you can't.
Okay.
So you just add little natural touches.
So that you can't see the
So
saw
you can't
cut.
see what isn't natural.
All right.
And if you can't tell, it is about 106 today.
106, that's without the heat index. That is just straight temperature. And let me just tell you, the barn does not have air conditioning.
So I really wanted to cover the wire as well, so to kind of be that in-between space of the natural meets the hardware. And we don't want to see any of this, if that makes sense. We just kind of want to give it a gentle cover.
And we're using a hot glue gun.
Hot glue gun.
She decided my tiny little glue gun was not big enough, so we're using
was
her
not.
big one. All right, there you go.
But I have an even bigger one for needs that we will be going over in fall. We will be using industrial wireless glue guns
Here we go.
for our fall project, so come back and check it out. And I kind of let it drip, and then I see where it's falling, and I just give it a little rip. Now, with these lights, which are some of my favorite to use, they are from Terrain. They are the Cascade Falls that we used in our winter installation here.
What I like is each thing is wired, so it
Each thing is
adheres
wired,
to everything.
and then you can literally take each little tendril and stick it in. That way you can use this as an additional floral wire while you're building. Okay, thank you. This is Bob's baby. He has cut it down. He has
cut this down.
the
you
tree
mean.
down, yeah.
And
he
I love
has
it because when
been-
we lit it up last night, and we'll be lighting it up later, it looks like a chandelier, the way, the movement of it.
Yes. My little trick. Check out Tip Tuesday for this little
That's
trick I just
right.
did. And then we will.
It makes me feel like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, and it's like in the middle of one of those
Yeah.
forests.
Well, always remind you of your dad that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a big look for weddings. People love this mossy lit stick look right here.
Okay, so we have, I mean, we're pretty much done. The final things, and by the way, before I say anything else, if you notice the sheen on our faces, again, it's 106 degrees outside. She just said, we could say maybe it's 106 or maybe it's Maybelline. So we can tell you about our product later, but the glowy look. So what's left is all the cords from the lights. She's going to put straight up the center and then put the moss all over it. And then Bob is hoisting this all the way up, hoist it up over the stairwell.